Welcome to the newspaper review. I am your host, Fatou George. On today's Voice newspaper headline, Dabo says only UDP can rescue Gambia from systematic collapse. Barrow hails police graduates vote stronger support for Gambia's security forces. NPP claims credible survey predicts massive victory for Barrow in 2026. DLEC officers arrest 3 suspect drug peddlers of foreign nationals. 2018 cabinet decision still halting sale of Jammeh assets, committee told. Now the news in detail. United Democratic Party UDP leader Ousainou Darboe has said his party offers the Gambian people the best opportunity to end corruption and invest in their future. He urges that the country is facing systematic collapse under President Adama Barrow's leadership due to what he described as deep governance, failure and unchecked impunity. Speaking at the UDP Diaspora Convention in Seattle, USA, Darboe described the situation in the country as there, citing widespread hardship and a government that is, in his words, overwhelmed by corruption. Addressing the diaspora directly, Darboe called them nation builders and encouraged them to mobilize, support and keep the party's vision alive abroad. Go for every vote, everywhere, he urged. Darboe ended with a call to action. The road will not be easy, but together we can and we will build the Gambia we deserve. President Adama Barrow has reaffirmed his government's commitment to strengthening the Gambia police force, pledging greater support and resources to enhance national security and public safety. Speaking on Wednesday at the passing out parade of the 2024-2025 police recruit intake 1 in Banjul, the president praised the new officers for completing what he described as a rigorous journey of training, sacrifice and growth. He said their graduation reflects the country's ongoing efforts to expand and modernize its security services in line with population growth and emergency security challenges. He concluded by reminding the young officers that their actions could shape the future of the country and encourage them to serve with purpose, courage, and fulfillment. The event was attended by some government officials, cabinet ministers, service chiefs, and families of the graduates. CDS Kenjai, the deputy spokesperson of the National People's Party, says there's a credible and verified impartial survey that predicts a massive victory for President Adama Barrow in 2026. During an interview on West Coast Radio on Monday, Njai said the National People's Party executives, supporters, and its general membership are committed to delivering 75% votes to President Adama Barrow in 2026. We have not said this out of the blue. It's scientific proof. It's fact-based. We have done the assessment. People have gone throughout the length and breadth of the country, and we have seen what is happening. They have seen what the president is doing. The Gambian people believe that there is no alternative to the National People's Party government, NPP deputy spokesperson stated. He acknowledged that the world is evolving and there are a lot of challenges, but the government is addressing those of them, stating that when one talks about the basic commodities, that's agreeable. That is why the president has put in prudent macro policies, including increment of salaries. We have agreed that things are expensive. It's scientific proof that rice is cheaper in the Gambia compared to Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and Ghana. The Special Select Committee on the Sale and Disposal of Assets identified by the Jammeh Commission has been told that a cabinet decision from 21st June 2018 continues to block the sale of assets recovered from former President Yahya Jammeh. Testifying before the committee on Wednesday, August 6, 2018, Cabinet Secretary Aliou Njai confirmed that the decision was conveyed in a letter dated July 3, 2018, which referenced the earlier cabinet meeting. The letter placed a moratorium on the sale of tractors and other assets linked to Jammeh, pending further cabinet instruction. 3 Gambian migrant workers who recently traveled to Spain under a bilateral labor agreement have absconded the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment has announced. In a press release issued on Tuesday, Motai said it received notification from the Spanish company Africa through the Spanish embassy in Dakar, reporting the disappearance of the 3 individuals. The men were part of the first batch of Gambian workers sent to Spain to government migration program aimed at creating legal pathways for employment abroad. The public is urged to report any information about the whereabouts of the individuals to the ministry. The Gambia-Spain Labour Program is part of ongoing efforts by the government to address youth unemployment and promote regular migration. Nigeria's customs agency says it has seized over 1,600 birds bound for Kuwait in what it described as the country's largest wildlife trafficking bust. Ring-necked parrots and green and yellow-fronted canaries were intercepted at Lagos International Airport by Nigerian's customs service on 31st July. The agency said in a statement on Tuesday. It is the largest seizure by number, NCS spokesperson Abdullahi told the BBC, in a country where wildlife trafficking is frequent. Nigeria's porous borders, whispered corruption and weak enforcement have made it a key transit hub for ivory, pangolin, scales and other wildlife products. In sports, Salas FC from Central River Region has joined Raki FC of Kanifing Municipality in qualifying for the GFF Women's 2nd Division League, following a hand-fought 1-1 draw with Ndims FC on Tuesday at the Summer Mini Stadium. Needing a win to qualify, Ndims FC started brightly and took the lead in the 13th minute through star player Awamanka, who dribbled past defenders and buried a low shot into the bottom corner. However, Fatoumata Sane equalized for Salas FC deep into first half stoppage time. After 2 rounds of matches, Salas FC topped the 3-team table with 4 points, followed by Ndims FC on 2, while Star Academy managed just a single point. Salas FC now becomes the 2nd team from CRR to qualify for the GFF Women's 2nd Division League after Stone Circles FC. Moving on to the Standard newspaper headlines, GDC asks Assembly to intervene in overseas ID card issuance scheme. Footballer convicted for possession of drug. Police graduates get 10 bull. Clerk arrests 3 foreigners with drug firearms. Now the news in detail. Another opposition party, the Gambia Democratic Congress GDC, has added its voice to the controversial issuance of national ID cards to Gambians living in Africa countries by the Gambia Immigration Department GID. The exercise, which government said is to help Gambians assess their national documents needed to regularize their stay in those countries, has been widely criticized and condemned by the opposition as a trick to rig elections by giving the vote to non-Gambians, since an ID card can also be used to acquire a voter's card. Civil society and other activists have questioned the justification and legality of the exercise, urging that the safeguards and eligibility criteria for an ID card are not in place outside the Gambia. In the Gambia, the party urged obtaining an ID card remains a cumbersome process requiring multiple documents such as birth certificates and parental supporting documents. This bureaucratic barrier effectively disenfranchises many Gambians who lack access to such paperwork. In conclusion, Gambians deserve clarity, fairness, and accountability in the issuance of their national identification document. The government must come forward with clear explanations regarding these policies, procedures, and their intended purposes. Protecting the rights of all Gambians, regardless of where they reside, is paramount to building trust and strengthening our nation. The President, Adama Barrow, will serve as guest of honor at the official opening ceremony of the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Regional Conference, scheduled for Wednesday, 13 August 2025 at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center, The Gambia. Held under the theme Strengthening Democratic Governance and Resilience in Africa, Tackling Conflicts, Economic Shocks, and Climate Risk, Gambia as it hosts the CPA Africa Region's flagship annual event for the first time. The recently graduated police officers have got more than they bargained for in terms of appreciation and gratitude for their decisions to serve the country with sweat and guts. At a glamorous passing out ceremony yesterday, a visibly delighted President Barrow led a gesture that was replicated around by the dignitaries at the ceremony. The President donated 3 bulls to the graduates, followed by Chief of Staff Mot K. Cisse, who donated 1. Foreign Minister Serigne Modou Njie followed with another bull, while National Security Advisor Suleiman Jeng gave 1 more. The Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Sidi Njie, donated a bull, as Interior Minister Abdoulaye Sanyang too donated a bull. Other donors include businessman Saibo Mane, who gave 2 bulls, while the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, Yankuba Dabo, donated a bull. Mayor Rohil Low of Banjul too gave a token of appreciation to the best graduating officer. Finance Minister Sidi Keita donated a cash amount to $10,000 to champion graduate Aisa Jallow, while Transport Union President Omar Cisse too gave her $25,000. The Banjul Magistrates Court, presided over by Principal Magistrate Mohamed Kurubali, has sentenced one Suleiman Jallow, a footballer by profession and a resident of Lancaster Street in Banjul, to a fine of $25,000 in default to serve 1 year in prison after being found guilty of possession of 500 milligrams of cannabis. In handing down the sentencing, Presiding Magistrate Kurubari stated that he has carefully considered the nature of the offense and also the information supplied by the prosecution that the accused is a first-time offender, as well as the mitigating circumstances advanced by the accused, among which includes his young age and profession as a footballer. I therefore exercise my judicial and judicious discretion to impose a fine of $25,000 in default to serve 1 year in prison. Both the prosecution and the accused are reminded to appeal in the event of dissatisfaction with this judgment, the magistrate concluded. In sports, following their outstanding performance at the inaugural ANOCO, that is the African School Games in Algeria, Gambian athletes and officials are due back home today, Thursday. The delegation, which includes athletes who brought pride and glory to the nation, winning an unprecedented 12 medals, 3 gold, 5 silver, 4 bronze, will arrive at the Banjul Ferry Terminal at 1 p.m. from Dakar, where their flight from Algeria terminated early this morning. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, Gambia National Olympics Committee, GNOC, along with relevant stakeholders, are coordinating the team's safe return and encourages the public to come out and give the young champions a warm welcome in Banjul this afternoon. Now to the foreign newspaper headlines. 3 abscond from the Gambia Spanish circular migration program. A man facing trial for allegedly defrauding NPP's Dusano. Government urged to expand automated transcription system in court. Man faces charges for assault and threatening to kill woman. Tango trains civil society organizations to tackle mbox threat. Select committee requests secretary to cabinet to produce documents. Now the news in detail. President advisor Dusano has filed a criminal complaint against Lamin Cisse, alleging that he was defrauded of a BMW vehicle valued at $250,000 and a fiscal sum of $60,000 under the pretext of being allocated a plot of land in Jambur. The case is currently before Magistrate Aissatou Jallow at the Bursby Magistrates Court. Sergeant Aliou Faye is prosecuting the matter on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, while Counsel Balde is representing the accused. Lamin Cisse is charged with the offense of obtaining money by false pretense, contrary to Section 288 of the Criminal Code. The particulars of the offense state that sometime in April 2016, in Jambur Village, West Coast Region, the accused, with intent to defraud, obtained from Dusano a BMW vehicle valued at $250,000 and a fiscal sum of $60,000 by falsely representing that he will secure him a plot of land measuring 50 meters by 50 meters. The charge states that the accused knew the representation to be false, thereby committing an offense. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, has urged the government through the judiciary to expand the automated transcription system to all courts to expedite proceedings. The Commission noted in its 2024 State of Human Rights report that the judiciary of the Gambia has made significant gains in improving access to justice in the Gambia, as it has already introduced the court automated system in 6 courts and has developed a case management system such as e-filing, e-payment and filing processes, and e-assignment of cases. Referencing an Afrobarometer survey published in April-May 2024, which assessed people's perception of access to justice in the Gambia, the findings indicated an erosion of trust in the courts, the NHRC stated. A Guinean national, Ousseynou Diallo, is currently standing trial at the Bursubi court, sitting at the Bundum court premises on charges of threatening violence and assault causing actual bodily harm. The case is presided over by Magistrate I. Diallo. The Bursubi Magistrates Court has been abandoned and the proceedings are being held at the old facility of the Bundum Magistrates Court. On the first count, Diallo is charged with threatening violence contrary to Section 84 of the Criminal Code. The particulars of the offense allege that on 31st May 2025 at Burfoot in the West Coast region, he threatened to kill Suadu Sanyang with intent to intimidate or annoy her. On the second count, Diallo is charged with assault causing actual bodily harm, contrary to Section 228 of the Criminal Code. According to the charge sheet, on the same day and at the same location, he assaulted both Suadu Sanyang and Aminata Nyasi by beating them all over their bodies, causing them injuries. The proceedings were held in chambers. As the fight against Mbox continues to be a present concern following its outbreak pronounced by the Gambia government, the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, TANGO, in an effort to combat this deadly disease, has taken the initiative to educate the engaged civil society organizations, that is the CSOs, on the dangers of Mbox and the necessary precautions. Mbox is not just a medical issue, it is a societal challenge that requires accurate information, early detection, timely response, and above all, community engagement. Through its thematic working group on health, population, and family life, Tango has organized community events and informative sessions to equip CSOs with the knowledge and tools to tackle the Mbox threat. According to Tango chairperson Yadikun Jai Eribo, this marks a crucial step in strengthening national awareness, preparedness, and response to emerging health threats. Ustaz faced trial for allegedly engaging 13-year boy on sex. An Ustaz, Arabic teacher by the name Mohamed Jassi, is currently facing trial for raping his student, who is a boy and a minor. The incident took place in West Coast region. The matter is before Magistrate I. Diallo of Bursubi Magistrate Court, sitting inside the Bundung Court complex. The accused is charged with unnatural offense contrary to Section 122 of Criminal Code. The particulars of offense is Mohamed Jassi on 24th day of July 2025 in West Coast region in the Republic of the Gambia. He did commit an offense by engaging into a sexual act with a 13-year-old boy against the order of nature by inserting his private part in the victim's anus. On the last adjourned date, the victim testified before the magistrate in her chamber that his ustaz called him to his room and he asked to massage his body. After the massage, he asked him to lay down on the bed and he took his trouser off and put his private part in his anus. The matters could not proceed yesterday because the accused has secured the service of a lawyer. The magistrate adjourned the matter to Monday, 11th August 2025. Now to the point newspaper headline. Barrow sacks Director of Gambia Maritime Administration. Hamad Bah defends asset sales amid rising public outcry. Barrow charges new police recruits to uphold integrity. Now the news in details. His Excellency President Adama Barrow, in line with his constitutional and powers, has terminated the service of the Director of the Gambia Maritime Administration, Karamo Jane. He has similarly redeployed Mr. Fode Malang, ambassador of the Republic of the Gambia, to the state of Qatar as new ambassador to the Kingdom of Morocco. In the same vein, Omar Jah, ambassador designate of the Republic of the Gambia to the Kingdom of Morocco, has been redeployed as Gambia's ambassador to the state of Qatar. These changes are aimed at strengthening the Republic of the Gambia's diplomatic engagements and further enhancing bilateral relations with strategic partner countries. According to a dispatch from the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. In similar vein, His Excellency President Adama Barrow has terminated the service of Mr. Karamo Jane as Director of the Gambia Maritime Administration and appointed Mrs. Olimatu Danso as the new Director of the Gambia Maritime Administration. In a heated exchange on QTV, State of Affairs Minister for Lands, Local Government and Religious Affairs, Hamad N.K. Bah, defended the government's handling of asset sales post-Jammeh era, blasting what he called bad journalism and social media speculation for misleading the public about the controversial transaction. What began as a routine sit-down on national development turned as Minister Bah erupted in defense of his ministry's handling of Jammeh era asset disposal, accusing journalists and critics of misinforming the public and distorting facts. Bah's reaction was triggered when questioned about growing protest over transparency in the sale of former President Yahya Jammeh's seized assets, particularly concerns about buyer anonymity and undervalued transactions. People should read the white paper. They should read the report and form an opinion, not based on social media speculative bad journalism, Bah said. When pressed further about the sale prices, he insisted that many assets had been revalued before being sold, particularly under the guidance of the receivership. That is in black and white. The report is there. Go and read it, he stressed. The journalist questioned the integrity of the report itself, given the lack of clarity and public access to buyer details. Despite the tense back and forth, Bah denied ever benefiting from Jammeh's rule. Let me repeat that I want nothing from that guy. Shifting tone, Bah praised the Barrow administration achievements, saying the road, electricity, health services and schools built under the current regime surpassed the last 50 years of Gambian development. With elections looming, Bah urged political actors to rethink their approach. The abuse is too much. Politics is not about insults, it's about ideas, he said, decrying the toxic language that has scared dignified Gambians from joining politics. In sports, defender Sekou Barrow has joined Real de Banjul ahead of their CAF Champions League opening qualifier matches. Barrow joined the City Boys following his remarkable performance for TMT FC in the 2024-2025 Gambia Football Federation Division 1 League campaign. He inspired TMT FC to the FF Cup final last season before losing to Greater Tomorrow in a tightly contested final played at the Serekunda East Mini Stadium. Barrow will add more depth to Real de Banjul defense line. The former Gunjur United centre-back featured for the Gambia in their 2025 CHAN qualifier match against Algeria. The home-based Scorpions slipped to the Algerians 3-0 on aggregate. Brikama Sports Committee recently donated $10,000 to Berewuleng FC for their maiden appearance in the WAFU CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers. The gesture was part of BSC's commitment to empower and promote women's football in Brikama and its satellite villages. In addition to the financial support, Brikama Sports Committee provided free access to Berewuleng to train at the Boxbar Mini Stadium to ensure the team prepare well for the championship. Berewuleng FC will play against Medina in the Wafu Zone A CAF Women's Champions qualifier match. The Brikama-based team won both the League and FF Cup trophies last season. This is all we have for you in our today's newspaper headlines. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. And please do stay tuned with us for more newspaper review. I remain your host, Fatou George.